balance. That's what Captain Ame is always chasing, navigating one of the world's most unpredictable vessels. A giant wooden raft carrying hundreds of lives and millions in cargo. Stretching 90 meters long and 40 meters wide, the raft is nearly impossible to steer. But in the heart of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where roads are almost non-existent, the river is the only way to move heavy tree trunks. Every movement on this vessel must be calculated with care. A single mistake can cost lives or hundreds of thousands of euros. The helmsman, Vandu, knows the pressure. On board are 228 massive logs. It's valued at over 350,000 euros. If even one is lost to the river, it's a disaster. To prevent this, the crew constantly checks and retightens the steel cables holding the raft together. But danger isn't just in the cargo. Passengers, mostly traders heading to the capital, walk precariously between floating logs. If there's too much space between trunks, they risk falling through and being crushed below. There are about 50 passengers on board. Most are vendors hoping to sell goods in the bustling markets of Kinshasa. Things like rare bugs and local flour that fetch a good price in the city. But this journey won't be easy. The Democratic Republic of the Congo is Africa's second largest country, and traveling between cities is a grueling ordeal. The roads destroyed by rain and time, people squeeze onto boats that defy logic and safety. Every year, hundreds die just trying to reach their destination. Trucks that dare to use the roads bounce violently through the mud and potholes. Exhaustion is constant. And when the terrain is too rough, passengers are forced to walk. But whether by water or land, the Congolese people endure. Against storms, broken infrastructure, and daily hardship, their resilience shines through. From above, the massive raft seems like a tiny speck on the mighty Congo River. After 10 days and 700 kilometers, they reach the town of Mbendeka without incident. But the final stretch toward Kinshasa will be more dangerous. Swimming in the river is out of the question. Pollution from nearby mines has poisoned the water. Yet one reckless sailor dives in, only to be quickly pulled back and warned. Accidents are frequent. Feet torn by metal scraps on the raft, infections waiting to happen. With limited supplies, even a 50% alcohol bottle becomes emergency medicine. The tetanus shot will have to wait until Kinshasa. Other boats are worse, like leaky whalers that fill with water, but still serve as the only transport for many. Some resemble floating slums, packed with up to 2,000 passengers, with no toilets, no clean water. Corruption and war have left the country scarred. Roads are crumbling, public services nearly non-existent. Guerrilla groups still operate in some areas, making travel even more dangerous. With unemployment at 40%, most people are simply trying to survive. Like Gloria, a grandmother traveling with her 2-year-old granddaughter. Abandoned by the child's parents, she now sells cassava flour, or fufu, to pay off her debts. As new passengers like Jean-Paul board with fish and bags of goods, tensions rise. There's barely enough room for everyone. Suddenly, the weather shifts. Vandu and the captain scramble to anchor the raft before the storm hits. Strong winds and rising waves threaten to tear the raft apart. Logs begin slipping away. Gloria holds her granddaughter tightly. Jean-Paul fears for his merchandise. The crew races to tighten cables. The raft groans, cracks. But after 2 hours, the storm passes, leaving behind damage and soaked passengers. The truth is, this raft was never meant to carry people. But with no other options, they continue on. Rural Congo, survival is a gamble. To find food, people risk their lives. Downstream, the Congo River flows into the Atlantic, creating a unique mangrove ecosystem, a maze of water and green. Here, women like 25-year-old Jan dive for clams. It's backbreaking work, 6 hours a day, diving 4 meters deep without any equipment. And rising water levels caused by climate change make it even more dangerous. The shells they collect cover the riverbanks. Villagers have been doing this for over a century, building their homes on piles of discarded clams. They boil them before selling. It preserves them longer. But overfishing threatens the clam population. And no one can afford fishing nets to switch methods. Back on land, truck driver Baju races against time. If he misses the last ferry of the day, he and his passengers will sleep on the riverbank. The roads are in ruins. The truck barely holds together. Still, they push forward. By some miracle, they make it. The ferry, late as usual, arrives just in time. For 30 years, this has been the only way to cross between the two banks of Congo's central province. From here, it's a 10-hour journey. Baju remains hopeful. He's invested in repairs and upgrades, but they won't go far on roads like these. Inside the truck, 20 passengers are crammed in like sardines. It's cheaper than a minibus, but barely safer. A flat tire slows them again. Luckily, they manage to patch it up and carry on, but progress is slow. Meanwhile, the raft faces a new challenge. Logs have broken loose and slipped underwater, creating hidden dangers beneath the surface. Worse still, they enter a section filled with sandbanks. Invisible traps that can stop the raft cold. And they do. The vessel slams into an island. The crew fights for hours. Vandu jumps into the river to guide them through. Passengers cheer as finally the raft breaks free. They resume their course. Kinshasa is in sight. Along the way, villagers row up to sell food, coal, even exotic animals. Gloria can finally buy something to feed her granddaughter. But danger isn't over. More sandbanks, more zigzagging, another near disaster. The raft stalls again. But with teamwork and determination, they free it one last time. On the road, Baju's group has barely made 70 kilometers in 2 days. Jean, the eldest passenger, is exhausted. They'll need another 48 hours to reach their destination. For 15 euros, nearly half a month's salary, these travelers endure blistered feet, sleepless nights, and relentless heat. And yet they press on. As the raft nears Kinshasa, a ray of sunshine breaks through. The city finally appears in the distance. After a month-long voyage, Vandu breathes a sigh of relief. Gloria smiles too. She'll sell her flour, pay off debts, and hope for a better future. The raft is dismantled, the logs unloaded. But for the passengers on land, the journey continues.
I knew more in Congo.
Even the simplest act. Traveling becomes a battle. But no matter the hardship, the Congolese spirit never breaks. Every kilometer, every struggle, every day is a triumph of resilience. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more stories like this.